Today we're going to talk about a pretty unsettling idea, the possibility that most of us are living inside a prison that we can't even see. We're going to break down the invisible forces that lock us into a life we probably never even chose for ourselves.
So let's start with this. Just think about it for a second. What if that trapped feeling you sometimes get doesn't come from actual walls, but from the very patterns we repeat every single day, without ever stopping to ask, why? Okay, so let's examine this prison itself. It's not some place you get sent to. It's a structure we build from the inside out, one habit at a time.
This is pretty much the blueprint, isn't it? The alarm clock, the commute, the job, the quick escape at night with some screen time, and then you do it all over again. It's a rhythm so common that we don't even see it as a choice anymore. It's just what people do. But is following this script actually living, or is it just going through the motions?
So how in the world did these prison walls get built in the first place? Well, the construction starts way earlier than you think. It begins with how we're conditioned, right from when we're kids.
I mean, look at this. This is basically the training we all get. The message is pretty clear. Compliance gets you rewarded. If you fit in, if you obey, you're a good kid. But if you push back, if you ask why one too many times, suddenly you're difficult. And what's the result of all that? We learn, deep down, that questioning things is dangerous. And just like that, compliance becomes this unconscious habit we carry with us for the rest of our lives.
Now, the next wall of this prison, oh, this one is maybe the most powerful of them all. It's the seductive, numbing drug of comfort.
Society sells us this dream, right? The comfortable life, a steady job, a predictable schedule, as little risk as possible. We're told over and over that what's familiar is what's safe, but the actual reality, it's completely different. Comfort is an addiction. Yeah, it feels good, but it stops us from growing. It makes us choose the familiar cage over the terrifying uncertainty of real freedom.
And that really gets to the heart of it. The truth is almost always uncomfortable. If you want to live a life that's actually authentic, you have to be willing to give up the easy, predictable existence and just step into the unknown.
And this leads us right to the next wall, our deep, primal need to belong and the crippling fear of being kicked out of the group.
You see, questioning your own life isn't just some private, intellectual exercise you do in your head. When you start to really question your life, you inevitably start to question the values of your family, the assumptions of your friends, the very fabric of the society you live in. And that is socially dangerous. It threatens your place in the tribe. And that forces you to make this incredibly powerful choice. So many people, without even realizing they're doing it, decide that yes, the approval is worth it. They just silence their own doubts to keep the peace. They trade their personal truth for the safety of being accepted. The real question is, what's the hidden cost of making that trade?
And then we have a wall that is perfectly designed for our modern world, the illusion of being busy.
And make no mistake, this is not an accident. We are kept constantly occupied with work, with just surviving, with an endless stream of digital distractions. The whole system seems designed to keep our minds full because a full mind has no space for the big, dangerous, system-shaking questions like, am I actually happy? Or is this really all there is? Busyness is a form of control.
So, with all these walls boxing us in, how does anyone ever get out? Well, it doesn't start with some grand escape plan. It usually starts with a tiny crack in the wall, a moment when the routine finally breaks down.
This right here is such a critical shift in thinking. We are taught to see discomfort, a crisis, a loss, a deep feeling of unhappiness, as a problem that we need to fix as fast as possible. But what if it isn't a problem? What if that discomfort is actually an invitation, a signal from some deeper part of you that something is seriously wrong and it's finally time to ask why?
This is when the autopilot finally shuts down. You lose a job, a relationship ends, a health crisis hits. It's in those breaking points that the walls of the prison suddenly become visible for the very first time. These moments aren't failures. They're these profound opportunities for breakthrough.
And that's the key. That's how you unlock the door. A meaningful life isn't found in the routines that were handed to you. It's forged in the courageous act of questioning absolutely everything. It doesn't start with an answer. It starts with having the guts to finally ask the question.
And so we're left with the one question that has the power to tear this whole prison down. Is the life you are living right now, the job, the relationships, the routines, is it truly yours? Or is it just one you inherited and never thought to question?